Hello and welcome to All My Art and Soul. This is Michelle Holden, the mixed media artist behind the channel, and this week we're going to be exploring more color with the continuation of my abstract art journal pages, number 23. So as I said last week, you need to check out that video. I missed doing those. So here's some materials, the water-soluble pastels, and you can see their Neocolor, and I'm going to start with some pencil and my usual colors that I've been using lately, but I don't end up using any of the blue. It's mostly the ochre, Titan Buff, and quinacridone magenta. There's the Payne's Gray, but I put it out on the palette, but I just didn't feel I needed it. So again, I'm using the white masking tape so it doesn't, clash with the piece while I'm working on it. And this is a heavy no, it's not watercolor paper. It's a mixed media from Canson. And the weight of this paper is 114 pounds. So it's in between the mixed media and that watercolor. It's slightly heavier and I really like it. So I put down the gloss medium around the edges first where the tape is going to go. And I find, oh, that is really nice and smooth. And of course it's a gloss, so the tape will come off very easily. Dried it with the dryer and then put the tape on it. And I'm making sure it's a standard size of 8 by 10. And this mixed media sketch pad is, I'm just looking at it now, 9 by 12. So there's the quinacridone magenta on the side. And why I'm just starting to explore with this particular palette because I used to use it a lot in my landscape / abstract landscapes before I wanted to explore more of abstract. So I'm going to use these colors because I want to go more deeply with them. So right now I'm just using the pencil to activate sort of a positive affirmation to activate the page, a positive energy, just because it's been a tough week and I really needed this. Oh, it felt so good to get back to these. If you haven't checked out my previous videos, there I have of Earth and Sky, but the whole batch of them before when I first started my channel were positive affirmation and art and soul journaling, I called them. So I think they're categorized on my channel, so don't forget to check those out. And back to this art journal page. So with the Neocolors, I didn't want a gesso. I just wanted this soft feeling. And I wanted the values to stay fairly similar, even though I did end up using just a little bit of black. So stay to the end to see how it all turns out. And most of the time they do. It's just this whole process. I don't really, I'm trying not to think about the end product. I'm just trying to experiment, and I still haven't been, I need to do it more, be even more present with what I'm doing with a simple intention. So my activation, the marks, pencil, a very simple palette as this turns out to be, and just a little bit of collage. I don't want to be too heavy with the collage, and I just wanted this feeling of calm because I just really needed it. So the orange and the pink, it's so funny. I tend to go with these colors for the calmness lately, and of course this changes. rather than you think I would go for blue or something, you know, the cool colors. But, you know, to each his own. So drying this with the hair dryer, and while I'm doing this with the hair dryer, you can see I've also added manganese. Now these are so expensive, these paints from Golden, and I'm glad that a little goes a long way. And I ended up not using the blue, so it really irritated me. It's like, oh, I'm wasting paint. Even you can see it's not that much. But for art journal pages, I keep forgetting that you really, you know, depending on what you're doing, of course, a little does go a long way. So right now you can see that I am using that more fluid, that gloss medium, which is usually used to thin out your paints and really add that nice texture and make them more transparent, as I said. So I just put that on there, and while it was wet, I was just glancing around my paper pile, and of course these handcrafted papers, and of course when you wet them with the medium and water, the more transparent they become. So you can see it takes on the tone or the value underneath, and I really like that. And I love all the little speckles in this particular one, and that's why I wanted to leave the edges frayed, or you would say soft, rather than a hard or cut edge. So I'm looking for more, you know, if it works, do some more, but, you know, in a different size. So I've been eyeing this text, and I'm really liking how it feels because it's equally neutral to the other one. And I was thinking, and I know what colors the manganese, the quinacridone magenta and the ochre and the nickel azo gold make from my other paintings. And I just love mixing them up. But that was a different style and a different purpose. So I thought, okay, I need to, and I want marks, I want shapes, I want fragmented surfaces, energy broken up. I want pieces of collage through there. So I'm just sort of, this is my initial one. So each one will change as you spin out, you finish, and you see, okay, what effects do I really like? And then each time you create a page, that's my intent here, with this palette, I'm sticking with this palette I intend to really go a long way with it. The reason is because in my environment here, in the Georgian Bay area, I'm in Ontario, Canada, and I live in the Georgian Bay area, and when I go out to the bay in the summer, it's so amazing, all the colors. And I don't know if you're familiar with this particular physical area. The rock is incredible. So I'm just fascinated with rock, and of course these colors. And they're slightly heightened. I can't even say that word. And but I just love how they go together, so I'm sticking with it. So carrying on those same values and just playing around with my brush. I didn't really bother to use my brayer. I didn't really need my brayer this time. I just wanted some shapes, and that's another thing I'm going to be, each time I do a page, I'm going to home in on a shape that worked, carry that on to another one, and just keep going until I finally have the feeling from the combination of layers, marks, shapes, and values that I'm looking for. So, you know, that's pretty lofty, but that's the goal. That's what we're trying to do here. And then I noticed when I added the blue, you can create the most amazing mauves with manganese blue, quinacridone, and white, of course. And the Titan buff just warms it up that much more. So you can see the power of that color. It's incredible. So then I just add a little Payne's Gray, and I'm so glad you can see me mixing my colors. And that's another thing. When you first start, you might not be mixing your colors. You may have already had painting experiences from another style of painting that you're going to bring on over to your abstract. But I find I just haven't mixed my paints enough, so it's time to start. So as soon as you put that yellow ochre in there, it warms it up to this most peachy, really amazing, and I don't know if the camera is picking it up enough. But as you can see, I'm adding more white, and I'm trying to make the values go lighter as I go up. So I'm going heavy to light, dark to light, getting the eyes to rise up through that substrate or page. So just having fun with these horizontals, and I think I did end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7, mostly 7 or 8 maybe, sections. And I do believe they're all different widths, different patterns, values, and different marks. So I'm liking that. And if you're really enjoying this content, and maybe even you're making your own abstracts in your own journal, sort of either getting inspired from my videos or painting along with me, please let me know in the comments. I've had such wonderful comments lately, and all of you subscribers out there, thank you very much for your wonderful comments. I just love sharing because, you know, I believe that what I've learned and struggled with at the beginning of this, and I'm not too far into this thing, even though I was painting in another style for a long time. Watercolor, landscapes of this area. It was very representational, but I always wanted to heighten the color. And then I just thought, you know what? I just can't keep doing representational art anymore. There's something more. I want to go deeper, and abstract was the answer for me. So please leave a comment, and thank you again, everyone. I know we are at almost 4,500 subscribers, and I think I'm close to my 100th video. I never thought I would get this far, and we're just going to keep on going. So more of that, I call it this peachy paper, because it was created with the same colors, but on newsprint. So it has that nice faded kind of underneath feel to it, which really lends itself to go with a neutral, with the Titan buff. And you'll see what I add with this, the butcher's paper. Paper's like a paper bag type of paper, that nice brown, beige. So I really felt it needed a base. I liked the lighter stuff that I did, but you know what? It's got to go. I just felt I needed to cover it up, or something else was better. And playing with some brighter orange marks here over the pink and orange that's there. So pushing that back with a layer of marks on top. So another layer, but a different layer. And this, yeah, right away you can see it's sort of my default. I go, no, I'm not doing that this time. I ended up doing it a little bit, but it's very faint with that same kind of transparent handcrafted paper that I used in the bottom. But you'll see, so stick to the end and let me know what you think. So, very nice. It Yeah, it needed to go right there. So it just needed to go above where there was some more either orange or pink. So you could see that it was similar, but yet a different width. And then I just trim it up with my, did I use my scissors this time? Nope, my X-Acto knife. All right, great. And I didn't really go over this one. I don't want everything all glossy. Sometimes, because I'm going to do a layer of Titan Buff stencil over that at the end. And I'm really starting to really enjoy, two reallys in one sentence, oh well, my mixing. And I want to become more experienced with mixing my paints. And I also find using a simpler palette is way easier from the get-go. So if you're having issues with over a complex, way too much stuff going on, remember, your work also needs a place to breathe. You want to take your viewer around, you want busy, but you want calm. So think of those differences. Okay. Oh, there goes that really light orange. So I'm thinking, okay, oh, I thought it dried up on me, but it didn't. Just needed a little shake and some activation. So as you can see, I just like to drag my brushes or my markers because I want just a nice natural flow of a line. And then of course I end up putting something. So again, I love to use this alignment thing going on down the center. Don't ask me. It's just a thing that I've developed and I just love it. So it seems to be becoming my style. There's that little copper pipe again. Can't get away from that. I will get away from it though because we don't want to overuse something. I just love how it stamps these great little circles going across. And I think I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them this time. And trying to keep them fairly straight because I know for this type of pattern, you know, it needs to be pretty close, pretty even. And they're pretty faint now, but I end up putting some more graphite lines in that upper area. I really like those lines. They're just spontaneous. So that's a note I'm going to make myself. I'll probably put a little sticky on the back of the previous art journal page and or just write a note as you've seen before in previous videos. If not, check it out, of Earth and Sky. Our abstract art journal pages, the whole series goes up to 21, and now this is, last week was 22, this week is 23. So it's in the same sketchbook, actually another one that I started. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to keep doing these kinds of things in this sketchbook and making them large and small enough so I can scan the image for maybe, I don't know, any cool stuff, all over print products that, you know, if something turns out really cool, it might look really cool on a product. So don't forget to stop in my shop and check it out. I've got some blue ones in there, some mixed media. I also have the zipper pouches and the tote bags. So far, I'm going to start making some art cards, packs of 5 and 7. That takes a little bit of time to create these products, but I love that part of it. So as I continue, oh yeah, I love this one. This was the deli paper, just with some Titan Buff stripes on it. I wanted opaque, translucent, and you can see the underlying layer, the previous layer on it, and it just sort of allowed those purple lines to peek through, but I just didn't want them standing out. And So I thought, okay, well, let's carry the same process with something else. And this was too strong, I found, too dark in value. There was a word there, and I thought, nah, it didn't suit it. I wanted it to have a very airy feeling. And I think I accomplished it at the end, and that was really the only, criteria, just to let it go, follow my intuition, and let go and trust. Oh yeah, there's that piece of that corrugated cardboard. Using it vertically or horizontally is so cool. I love the marks it leaves. And you can control that by only painting like an oval on it or whatever. And so I have this sci-fi. I love magazines about the universe, about the cosmos or whatever. So I've kept that at the side, and I love the print because it's so very tiny. So it's there, but it's not in your face. So this one says, what is this one? On the light of faint, fast receding galaxies indicate that the universe is. I just love that. So I threw it in there. As you can see, I'm flipping it back and just, feeling these words for meaning or not, or mostly feeling. My abstracts are, I'm going for a feeling, and I find that challenge fascinating. Intuition, the feeling of things, what art visually we can do to communicate. Oh, it's amazing. So that's one of the main reasons why I love abstract art, because you're going deep, and it reflects it. Our art reflects our life, and we can also use our art to dive more deeply. And I know with this light of my what is it? I use an Osmo Pocket. I love it. It's one of the first ones. It's getting old now. I'll probably have to replace it. And it's just perfect. And I have this really cool arm above my table that can be down close. It can be in any direction. So I'm thinking, okay, what if I put some paint up there? I know I want some kind of a circle, but I just want to still use the pencil. So I'm just using that as a guide. Not bad. Don't like it. But you know what? Let's cover some of that Titan buff over it. So no worries. I end up putting some paper, a piece of collage over it, and I think it turned out really well. It's the same collage that I used the very first piece I put on this page. And since it's a completely different shape, it works. So I'm bringing continuity into the piece and also differences. So putting a little, going over, adding some texture, tactile texture and visual texture, two different kinds. So you can really, really have fun with that. I'm noticing that it just needed a little more pencil. It's really working, so stick with that and just put more. I end up, though, coming up using some POSCA markers for a few little dots of pink, and it's a very bright pink, so that's why I only put a few up there, but I just think the eye just seemed a little too empty. So just watch what happens. So let's see, what do I have? Okay, so just bringing just a slight contrast, sort of emulating the speckles of that paper, but with a higher contrast of black. So now the eyes hovering around that text. And in the end, I didn't put a little tiny piece of collage I used a black and white piece, a very transparent collage. You'll see it, you'll notice it in the photo, the image that I always put at the end of the video. So just wait to the end. And I love this. Remember, I just did this in the last week's video, and I thought, no, it didn't work because those black circles, which are still different, were too much the same size as the white ones. So it was just, I don't know, it just wasn't working. So I find there's that butcher paper that I've stamped with black circles. And I know for some reason I really like this idea. So I'm going with the cruciform armature that I can never get away from. It always pulls me back in there. And you know what? That's okay. This piece just needed it. So whenever you want to put that piece of, or part of more contrast with these circles, I just sort of brushed them over with some Titan Buff and some orange. So it just took away the starkness of those. And yeah. And probably, so I'm bringing in some pink, and I might even fix that up a little bit, but you know what? It's sort of cool. I'm just going to leave it. And they're just sort of mysterious. They're there. And then they're just stuck in the middle. And I thought, okay, I need a little bit more black. What am I going to do? I don't want to use a paintbrush. So I'm cleaning up. I covered the text too much. So I'm reaching for a POSCA marker, the black, and, oh no, orange this time. So I'm putting my little dots around, but they're still very, very too much the same value. And then I've also used some oil pastel on this page, some pink, peach, with those, yes. So I finally figured that out. And I'm just cutting like a half circle. And just test it first to make sure it's the feeling that I'm looking for. And yes, 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 yes. And making sure it's straight, or the edges are nice and clean. And that's a little crooked because I know the tape is there and that I don't want that to tear off when I remove the tape at the top. Okay, so it didn't really need much, and I'm really liking how you can see the pencil line underneath it. And there I go, I'm trying to think, no, we don't need that. We do not need that. But I do find a small piece of orange. So I'm searching around, because you know when I use the hairdryer, if you have this issue, it's hilarious. Any nice little piece is going to just go poof, and who knows where it ends up. So I try to keep those. You can see at the upper left-hand side is my big bin of scraps. I think I want a challenge, and I might do this next week. Just thought of the idea just now. This is real-time video, folks. I would love to batch produce and do all that stuff like the other channels do. In the summer, when I have more time off, I'll be able to. But I like going, you know, with what I'm doing. And you're coming along with me as I learn. So that's what's happening. So again, if you're enjoying this journey, please let me know in the comments below. If you're not, well, you know, I can just only do my best. So there's that piece of, what is it again? It's that tracing paper. And I never remember it. It has a more waxy feel to it. And I don't know, I'm looking at it right now, and it is sort of cool. It's strong. I may end up just brushing a little bit of, pushing it back a little bit with the background, the faded pink, or even go over it with some pastel. So what I'm looking for here is this little circle that has eluded me in so many other pages that I've wanted. So I end up finding it. Where is it? So I put that there, and nope, too distracted. Has nothing, it doesn't even belong there. So I don't know what I'm thinking. So out you go. So now I'm going to go through all these layers you can see and just testing for possibilities. I wanted some black and white. I know I need that in there, but I end up putting at the bottom because the eye wasn't coming down there. It sort of stopped where the text was, and then that was it. So you want that circle. You want whatever, it doesn't have to be a circle, but you do want the viewer's eye to go through the whole piece and just keep going and keep going. So I do find it here. It's like, where's Waldo? Where's the circle? Searching, oh, there it is. And as you can see, I thought, well, no, there, yeah, right there. That's it. And less towards the white, closer to the yellow. So I think I go about halfway. And, yeah, nope, too late. So I just cover it with some more medium, and it's right there, and I'm looking at it right now. And I love those little dots. I wanted them so badly in this piece, but they just stuck out. So I just put them up there with the larger ones and just save them. And, after this piece is done, after it sits in the studio for a day or two, and I'll look at it, take notes of what I like and what I want to move forward with for my larger pieces. So I thought I was going to end the video there, and I thought, wait a minute, I forgot to take the tape off. Come on, Michelle. And so I'm moving all my pieces now. I'm learning. Oh, there goes something. Gone with the wind. And I know I'm not going to have to worry too much because I put down that medium first. So I'm just continually experimenting and, cleaning my table at the same time. My studio is just so, it's not really messy. It just hasn't had a really good super cleaning. And it's spring, and we know how that is after this winter has been so long. It's just the winter that would never end. It's finally nice. So a couple more passes with the dryer, and now we're going to start the big reveal with the lovely crisp edges. I love those. And right away I get a tear. So I stop and go, oh, grab the gel. And I didn't put it exactly where I could have, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty good repair job. But the rest of the tape comes off just nicely. So there's that thing. I don't know what I'm just testing it. Nah, no way. And I'm glad I didn't do that, because I wanted to see those buff lines. I wanted it more calm. And just moving that up. And there it is. So I hope you enjoyed this page, number 23, exploring new colors. And what did I write? Oh, I wrote exploring marks. Well, marks and colors. But, it's a combination of the two. And I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to jump over and join the Facebook group here. The link is in the comments. And have a good day. And I will see you in the next video.